Coming soon to YouTube, the good, the bad and the greedy. The tale of three desperate YouTube fragrance reviewers fighting it out for $200,000 of buried Google ads money.
If you shoot me, you won't see a cent of that money. Why? I'll tell you why. There's nothing in there. You thought I'd trust you? $200,000 is a lot of money. We're gonna have to earn it.
To get me killed. When'd you unload it?
Last night. You see, in this world, there's two kinds of people, my friend. Those with loaded guns and those who dig. You dig. Go ahead.
Talk about things you like to do. Oh, hello. In today's video, we're going to be looking at about 10 affordable classic fragrances, many of which you probably don't know. Something a little bit different to the stuff you get in most YouTube fragrance videos. You could find something out. It's going to be really interesting. Let's get stuck into it. I'll flip the camera angle and we'll find out about these classic cheapies. Okay guys, let's kick this list off. First up, it's Versace The Dreamer, a total classic 90s fragrance, first released in 1996, actually the last fragrance release during the lifetime of the great Gianni Versace, who tragically passed away in 1997. Top notes for this fragrance: juniper, tarragon and artemisia. The middle notes are iris, lily and flax, and your base notes are tobacco blossom and amber. You can pick this up up in the UK for All Beauty have it. £19.95. It is, as the name suggests, a rather dreamy, delightful, beautiful, kind of synthetic smelling, but very, very pleasant fragrance. A lot of people like to spray this just before they go to bed and that kind of thing, and I kind of get that. It makes sense. It's a dreamy, powdery tobacco, a little bit of kind of synthetic sweetness, and just a kind of nice, clean, musky freshness in this one, and some sort of rather indistinct florals. It just works in a very, very nice, comforting way for a lovely autumnal fragrance, going for a nice walk on an autumn day. I think the Dreamer, really worth picking up for that charming, lovely bottle design with the classic Versace Medusa head logo thingy there. And just a great bottle design overall, in my opinion. Versace The Dreamer, definitely worth checking out. Fun little blind buy if you never tried it. Let's see what's next then, something completely different. We're going right back to the 1980s with Bijan Men, a relatively recent addition to my fragrance collection. And Bijan Men by Bijan and Amber Fougere, says Fragrantica. This one launched in 1987. Long note listing, so I'll rattle them off quickly. Oak moss, sage, musk, nutmeg, lavender, lemon, bergamot, fruity notes, mandarin, orange, middle notes of honey, carnation, fir, cinnamon, tarragon, sandalwood, amber and ylang. Also iris, jasmine, rose, and in the base you've got leather, cloves, patchouli, musk, rosemary, vetiver, benzoin, cedar, vanilla and tonka bean. £20 for a 75ml bottle with this incredible, lovely bottle design that I really like. I really like the bottle design. I think it's unique. I don't know what it's meant to be. There's a rude joke in here somewhere, but I'm not going to go there. I think it's charming. It's a great classic fougere. I get the ambery thing because as it dries down it goes quite, well, not exactly sweet, a little bit warming, ambery. You get that benzoin thing, not out and out sweetness. In the opening, very dry, very bitter, kind of herbal, classic 80s fougere. Really nice, good performance. And if you like things like Coram by Puig, Dracar Noir, well worth checking this one out, and a really fun addition to any fougere fans' arsenal. Bijan Men, great fragrance. Love the bottle design, Tom. A bit of a sucker for a fun bottle design. Speaking of which, Here's something totally different. Pour Louis from the great Ted Lapidus, famous for the legendary Beast Mode fragrance Lapidus Pour Homme. So TL Pour Louis, the full name for this one. I'm calling it classic 2003. I think that's long enough ago now. We can call it a bit of a classic, a modern classic maybe. This was created by Maurice Roussel, famous for some very fancy niche creations, including Musc Ravageur by whoever did that. The name escapes me at the moment. And Norbert Bijou is the other perfumer. Frederic Malle was Musc Ravageur. Top notes for this one: lavender and mint, orange blossom and bergamot. Middle notes of vanilla and lily of the valley. Cedar also. Base notes: amber, musk, sandalwood and patchouli. 100ml for $19.95. I found this one a really nice kind of combination of green spiciness with sweetness. A really nice vanilla-y undertone. Again, a little bit of a powdery feel. Not a classic amber fougere or anything like that, I wouldn't say. They're calling it amber woody. It's kind of a spicy, sweet and green fragrance all at the same time. A little bit synthetic smelling, but very, very likeable. Great performance. I know there's a great review by Chris from Scentland where he extols the virtue of this one. Crazy, crazy bottle design. It's hard to describe this one, actually. It's quite unique. But yeah, if you like something green and spicy mixed with sweetness and a very captivating feel. Again, I've been enjoying it. Nice performance. Great for this winter time of year when you're wearing a thick coat outside, that kind of thing. I find it a good choice. Oh, you still here? Oh, by the way, the code Mr15 gets you 15% off at myfragrancesamples.com. That's my recommended place to buy fragrance samples in the USA, Canada and Puerto Rico. It's a really great website. The guy who runs it, Mark, is a top guy, and the link is in the description. Mr15, 15% off. Let's move on. What do we have next in this scintillating list? Next, it's Elizabeth Taylor, the great, great, beautiful actress from the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s and beyond. Sadly, I don't think with us anymore. 1989 saw the release of her first masculine fragrance, and it's an 118ml strange size. Price escapes me. I think it's about, you can get it for like £16 online easily in the UK. You've got orange, galban and bergamot and lemon. And then you've also got tonka bean, amber, benzoin, oak moss and vanilla with styrax. I also get quite a lot of lavender in this one. It's a beautiful, comforting, warming fragrance. It's spicy, it is a little bit fresh, it has a little bit of a fougere-esque vibe, but it's sweeter and spicy. I pick up on a kind of cinnamon-esque feel and lavender, and weirdly, neither of which are listed. Very, very nice, very comforting, very warming, nice to spray on a jumper. Bit of an old school vibe, but maybe more 90s feeling than an out-and-out 80s power. It's not an 80s powerhouse because it's got this sweet spiciness, a bit like Obsession from Men from Calvin Klein, which is coming up later in the list, but not the same as that at all. More of a lavender feel. Very, very interesting scent. Try that one and again, nice bottle, wasn't it? Let's move on to the next choice. We're going into completely different territory, stretching the definition of classic, but I think you could say it is. I think you could say it is. And this is Nautica Voyage by Nautica. Woody aquatic scent. 2006 release, again relatively recent, but taste 15 years now. Maurice Roussel, the nose again, what a man. Top notes of apple and green leaves, middle notes of lotus and mimosa, a musk and cedar in the base. You can pick this up for £20. Oak moss and amber are also listed, but really what you get with this one is a fresh aquatic sporty scent with a hint of green apple and this kind of sea notes mixed with ozonic air kind of feel. Almost it's extremely simple and crisp, but it's very, very beautiful. It smells maybe sporty and modern, certainly modern for the time that it came out. Contemporary fragrances like Chanel's Allure Homme Sport from 2004 were falling into a roughly similar category, but this is even fresher than that. Very, very likeable, freshy. Great to spray on your bed sheets or as an air spray, as I have done now and again, but really doused myself in this one in the 18 months I've had the 100ml. Love Nautica Voyage, actually. Fun fragrance. No doubt about that, guys. Let's move on. We're going to go to the great house of Aramis, and my next selection is going to be this one. New West, reissued in this, I think it's called the Gentleman series. Nice bottle design. It used to come in a kind of blue bottle, whatever. Aromatic fragrance, they call it on Fragrantica, 1988, and your nose behind it was Harry Fremont. I'll give you the note listing. Top notes of C notes, mint, aldehydes, bergamot, lavender, artemisia and caraway. Mid notes, pine tree, juniper berries, bay leaf, watermelon, geranium, coriander and jasmine, and base notes of cedar, oak moss, leather, sandalwood, patchouli and musk. Just another great freshie. It's kind of an aromatic fougere to me. It's a piney green fresh fragrance with a hint of sea spray, but not, and some people sort of say, oh, it's the first aquatic, and it is sort of, you know, Acqua di Gio copied it. It's more classic 80s fougere to me than that, but it just has this optimistic wisp of the sea spray as you drive by the Californian coast or something in your open top car with your shirt open and maybe a lovely lady by your side. That's the kind of optimistic go-getter feel I get from New West, from Aramis. Really, really nice, fresh fragrance for the old school fragrance type guys. So I mentioned it a few moments ago, Obsession for Men. Definitely worth checking out, and you kind of ought to have this in your collection if you are into collecting a lot of fragrances. Calvin Klein release from way back in 1986. It was Robert Slattery, the perfumer, never heard of him. Top notes of cinnamon, lavender, coriander, mandarin orange, lime, bergamot, and your mid notes are myrrh, nutmeg, carnation, Brazilian rosewood, that's my favourite kind of rosewood, pine tree, sage, jasmine, and red berries. Base notes of amber, vanilla, sandalwood, musk, patchouli, and vetiver. 125ml for £20. I found this online at the moment in the UK. Lovely kind of warming cinnamon, amber, spicy, woody fragrance. Again, just great to spray on a coat, all that kind of thing. Comforting. Decent performance, not amazing, but it's so cheap you can spray an awful lot of it. Yeah, spicy, ambery, comforting fragrance. Nice big hit of cinnamon in there. Not everyone loves cinnamon. Reminds me of a cinnamon McDonald's donut that you used to get in the old days. I like Obsession. Now and again, it's not exactly my style, but if you want something that we once might have called an Oriental, and still should be able to, for a very cheap price. Obsession, well worth checking that one out, guys. If you'd like to see an extra video from me every week, sign up to my Patreon group. It's only $2 a month. There's a link in the description, and we have loads of interesting stuff going on in there. I do a lot of fragrance stuff, of course, but I also talk about some other things to do with my life. It's really fun, and I hope to see you in there. As I say, you can follow the link in the description, or just go to Patreon and type in Mr. Smelly 1977. Moving on then, I've kind of cheated a bit. Eau de Giovantchi. It was only released in 2018, but because it's a re-release, at least in terms of the name, I never smelt the original, of a fragrance originally from 1980. I think it's along the same lines, looking at the note listing. So this one, I think it was Francois Demachy who reformulated it, re-released a discontinued one. Used to be aimed at women. I'm calling it very much a unisex neroli fragrance for me. The note listing for this one, petitgrain, bergamot, lemon, orange and mandarin orange with neroli orange blossom, green notes, hedio and bitter almond, white musk, vetiver and cedar. So if you like things like Neroli Portofino from Tom Ford, maybe, what's the Ferrari one? Bright Neroli from Ferrari. Any of these kind of Neroli orange blossom dominant fragrances is a great competitor to those. Available for great prices, really nice longevity, a little bit floral. Some people may feel that's a little bit flowery and feminine for their taste. I find it not a problem at all. Just great, more for the summertime maybe. Very refreshing and invigorating, high quality Neroli orange blossom fragrance. And I do like those now and again, actually. So the price for that one, I forget exactly, but it's very affordable for your 100ml bottle, and I quite like the simplistic white bottle design that they've come up with there. So Eau de Giovantchi, good stuff. Going way back in time for one that definitely does qualify without doubt as a classic old school fragrance. It's Gua Brava from Puig, the great house of Puig. So Gua Brava, you can pick this up on eBay in the UK, incredibly for £11.42 for 100ml. It's a woody chypre released in 1968 and created by Marcel Carles and the great Rosendo Matteo, still going today. Top notes of lavender, bergamot and Amalfi lemon, my favourite kind of lemon, juniper and sage, middle notes of pine, bay leaf, clove, thyme and carnation, and base notes of oak moss, vetiver, leather, sandalwood, patchouli and musk. A classic citrusy, piney, refreshing, slightly rugged, masculine eau de cologne style fragrance, a little bit reminiscent of another favourite of mine, Agua de Colonia Concentrada by Alvarez Gomez. Again, I got a Spanish connection there. Really just a nice, refreshing, citrusy, slightly floral, lavender, barbershop-esque fragrance. Probably something that literally was used in European barbershops. But European barbershop tends to be a bit more citrusy and green than some of the more powder, well, let's say some more citrus leaning a little bit than some of our powdery lavender ones like Brut and Pinard Clubman. So really nice barbershop fresh cologne spray. Okay performance for me. so far. Another real old school one, well, it is a classic fragrance list, is Alt Innsbruck, which I'm just going to have to grab. Alt Innsbruck. Wow, wow. Great recent discovery. Thank you to Neil from Miami Cuddles for recommending this one. Great. This is a true barbershop, literally used in barbershops over the years, no doubt. Alt Innsbruck, Austrian house, and this is Alt Innsbruck Eau de Cologne. Only note listing is tobacco and mint. You can get it for $19.95 for 100ml in the UK. I'm not sponsored in any way. 1953 release. If you like things like Fabergé's Brut, Pinard Clubman, it's got a little bit of that, but with this added kind of creaminess and this hint of a really nice fresh tobacco leaf in there. Makes it really good. Super masculine, super literal barbershop, like you would smell this, smelling like being in a barbershop. And you get it in this great splash bottle. Be careful because it doesn't have a dispenser, so I decanted a little bit, but it gives out a lot if you splash it into your hand. And it gives a great burn on the face because it is made to be used as a splash on aftershave. Got that kind of menthol thing in the very opening, so you may or may not like that, but I really like that for a true old days cologne from the days when men were men. We have just one left. It's Nikos Sculpture. I love Nikos Sculpture. It's kind of something about a summer holiday vibe with this one because it's a Greek kind of name of the brand. I guess it's a Greek brand. So Amber Fougere, officially 1995 release, Michel Almerac, the perfumer. Notes of orange blossom and lemon, bergamot, mandarin orange, jasmine, lily of the valley, geranium and rose. Base notes of tonka bean, benzoin, amber and cedar. £16.95 for 100ml. Amazing bottle design. It's a kind of a little bit reminiscent of the Dreamer in some ways. Oops, a slightly fresher cousin to something like the Dreamer. Almost a tobacco-y feel in this one as well, I think. Is that a listed note? Apparently not. Definitely a kind of synthetic but pleasant floral feel with a hint of kind of lavender and sort of spiciness in there for me, although lavender not officially listed as a note. Again, a kind of dreamy, fresh, open shirt in the evening. You're on holiday somewhere in the in the Mediterranean kind of area, southern Europe, and you've had a great day baking in the sun, and then you spray this on for something a little bit more kind of fresh and yet a little bit seductive and smooth, and with a hint of sweetness in it too. A really dreamy kind of feel. Just a great thing. It conjures up image of a chiseled male physique that I wish I would have under my white shirt, maybe wearing a nice old wind-up watch, such as today's, let's just show you it, Doxa 1970s hand-winding watch, which I love old-fashioned watches. Some expensive ones I have, but this was very affordable on eBay. And I'd be out there, hopefully with bronzed skin, enjoying a beer or 10. Guys, let me know what you think about that in the comments down below. I'll see you in the next video. Remember, whatever you're doing in life, let's project. And sometimes life may stink, but we can always smell good. See you in the next one. Bye.
Bon viveur, le nouveau parfum pour barnetnaughton et Wilson. Parce que la vie est faite pour être appréciée.